everybody, welcome back to Yard Sale Squad. Happy 2024. I did make a video already in January, but it was very much focused on Christmas, and so I wanted to kind of just focus on the new year. I have done some monthly reset videos in the past, and I got this idea from Lydia Sin from Frugal Debt Free Life. I really like the idea of looking at the month prior and then looking ahead at the month to come. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do a little bit of reflection, and then we're just going to kind of look ahead at the month to come. So this is very much a listen while you work video, listen while you drive video. I'm just going to be talking. I'm going to show you some of the things that I'm doing, some of my goals, but it's just a very laid back, chatty, casual video. And if you hear chatting, you're supposed to be whispering, but I hear lots of giggling coming from the kitchen. So we'll take that as it comes. So if you watched my last video, you know that December was a month of vlogging. It was a month of growth for my channel. You guys saw that I achieved a monetized status, which, you know, may not mean a whole lot in the grand scheme of things, but it's something that I've worked for a long time, and it feels really good to have accomplished that goal and to have that possibility moving forward. December was also a month of sickness, and it was kind of weird for us, and one of our Christmas gatherings we still actually haven't even done because of sickness and various scheduling things. So that's something that I get to look forward to in January, is finally getting together with all of my side of the family. So in terms of January, I've never been one of those, like, let's throw out everything and start brand new people. I think I just recognize that it's not something that is sustainable, and I like my life. I like my life. I like the people in my life. I like the things that I'm doing, and I find that just gradual changes over time, praying about decisions and making those decisions when it feels right is so much better than just, it's a new month, it's a new year, new me entirely. That whole energy just doesn't really make sense to me. But I was talking to my sister about goals in the new year and things, and she came across this idea that you make 25 goals and then see if you can narrow those down to the top 5. And what it said was those top 5 are your focuses for the next year or however long you're working towards these things, and the other 20 are distractions from that 5. And what we decided instead of that, because, you know, if you're putting it on your list, surely it's important to you. We just took those 25 and tried to boil them down to 5 kind of overarching categories and things that we want to work towards in the new year. So I have been working on my list of 25, and I won't share all those with you, but there's some like money and budgeting type things on there. One of the things that I'm wanting to do is continuing to pare things down. I've been doing Project 333 and I love it. And I kind of want to bring that simplicity to everything else. So one thing that I'm hoping you'll see a lot of this year is what I'm just calling being simplified and prepared. I want our home to be filled with the things that we love and nothing that we don't. I want my car to be tidy, and I want it to be seasonally prepared for whatever things we might be doing. It's been tempting for me as I've made my list, especially for budgeting things, and things that are on my mind are paying medical bills off, paying for emergencies, paying for vacations this year. My mind very quickly goes to, I want to go ahead and pay for anything that's ever going to happen now so that I don't have to do it later. And of course, you know, life doesn't work that way. I can't field everything. I can't predict the future as much as I think I would want to. Of course, you know, we know that it's better that we can't. But yeah, I have to kind of pull it back and say, okay, I can't see the future. I can't see everything, but I do know that having a fully funded emergency fund is very important. I do know that I need to pay for vacations before we take them. All of those kinds of things are just kind of how I'm moving forward with some of those financial goals. One of my things that I really want to do is focus on how I'm spending my time week by week and how those habits sort of start to build upon each other. One thing I'm really wanting to make sure that I do is prioritize my reading time. So I've never really been great at prioritizing reading, and I sat down the other day. We had just gotten home from school, and I thought, how do I want to spend this time before I go out and I've got things to do in the evening? And I made a plan for how I wanted to spend my time, and I just wrote quiet hour. You know, my daughter dropped her nap fairly early. She just didn't want to do it anymore, and she would do it if we were in a moving car, but she just dropped it really kind of early, you know, comparatively for some kids. We have not really preserved a quiet time. There's some rest time here and there, but it's not consistent. It's not at the same time or relatively the same time every day. And I've noticed that a lot of times whenever I have rest time, I pull for my phone, as so many of us do. So I'm sure you're aware, but your iPhone has little focus features, and you can put it in sleep mode, you can put it on do not disturb, you can put it on work mode, but you can actually go in there and customize one of your focus settings, and you can name it whatever you want. So I went in and made one for quiet hour. And the nice thing about this setting, I didn't know this, so maybe you also don't know this, you can go in and customize who you can accept calls and texts from during that time. So maybe you don't just want to blanket put it on do not disturb or put it away somewhere because you think, what if someone can't reach me in case of an emergency? So I can go through and I can select those few friends or family that I think would reach out to me if something were wrong, you know. But other than that, I can say for this hour, I am unavailable. And it felt so nice. And I knew that if I had heard the ding of my phone during that time, I would have gotten up from my chair and I would have checked it, and then that probably would have led to me checking something else, and then before you know it, a half an hour is gone. But because I chose to put it on that silent mode, I was uninterrupted, I was undistracted. The kids were playing outside and I could check on them from time to time. It was a really nice day. And I found that I was really enjoying reading my book. Not only that, but I was realizing while I was reading, I felt true rest and peace and a calm that I do not feel when I am sitting with my phone. I think when I'm sitting with my phone, there's almost this subconscious, like I don't know what I'm looking for and maybe I'll find it, but I know that I never will because it's the endless scroll. And this is not a new concept. So many of you are good at this, you're seasoned at this, you're avid readers, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, that the peace and calm that a book brings can be really different than holding a piece of technology in your hand. This is not a dumping on phones session. This is just, there's a time and a place, and quiet hour is going to be not that place. So I went through and evaluated and realized that most days in our week, I can observe a quiet hour. And it may not be at the same time every day. Some days it may be at 2, some days it may be at 3. But I think I can do that. And one thing that's really important to me is modeling that for my kids. And if I'm reading, then maybe they also will want to do the same thing. I think for a long time I've almost viewed reading as lazy or non-productive because you're just sitting and you're being inactive. And it almost feels guilty. So that's one thing that I'm working to right in my brain, is how I even think about reading. Another thing that I'm doing this year is buying a paper planner. I am very much a paper and pencil person. I can do things on a calendar on my phone, but I really do much better with writing things down for whatever reason. For the past several years, I have been a simplified planner girl. I really like how it's set up, and I contemplated buying another one, but my friend Hillary at Old World Home made a planner and I really wanted to give it a try. I really like some of the rhythms and routines that are set up in the planner, and I thought it's worth a try. So that's supposed to be arriving this weekend. I'm very excited about that. Hillary also has a Christmas planner, and I didn't order it this year because I thought it's really neat, but I don't think I need it. You guys, I needed it. I needed it so bad. And I think that next year, if she comes out with it again, I will order it, and I think that I will use it and really enjoy it. So anyway, Hillary has not asked me to say this or sponsored me to say this, but Hillary, I think that you've created really nice resources, and I plan on purchasing and using both of those this year because I just think they're really well thought out and I'm excited to use them. All right, the last thing that I wanted to talk about was a meal matrix. So the Lazy Genius, Kendra Adachi, she has mentioned before kind of the idea of creating a rhythm throughout your week and having, you know, it's the idea of Taco Tuesday, but applying that to different days. So I haven't done this in a while. Last year, as in like 2022, I did soup and bread every Monday. and that was just kind of my standard. I knew that I was going to have that. And I've gone through seasons of life where I've done other things on different days. I've done like sheet pan Wednesday. I've done a Taco Tuesday. Pretty consistently, leftovers are on Thursdays, but I think that I'm going to do a meal matrix for the winter time, and then I'll reevaluate that in the spring. But it's definitely going to include soup and bread. It's going to include either like a sheet pan meal or a rice bowl or both, leftovers, and then at least once every other week, I'm creating a new recipe. So I do our meal plan 2 weeks at a time. I do our grocery haul from Aldi 2 weeks at a time. And this will just allow me to say, okay, during this grocery haul, during this 2 weeks of meal planning, I'm trying one new recipe. I'm not somebody who feels the need to create new recipes all the time. We kind of like what we like and we're comfortable with that. But I do really enjoy adding new things to the mix. And I think for me, one every 2 weeks is a really good and doable pace. So maybe I'll share like a 2 week span of our meals and kind of show you that whole process. But yeah, that's one of the changes that I am making for this winter season. All right, you guys, well, that is pretty much my January reset. You'll have to let me know down in the comments if there is anything that you are doing this month to reset or this year to reset. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for watching, and I'll be talking to you soon.